Yo, it's good, Wavy Gang. This might be a really weird video, but I really wanted to show this to y'all because I feel really passionately about Siege, like in like the competitive aspect of it, and like you know, I don't know, like So basically, I would just want to say like I found this video where this guy placed several video games above Siege's difficulty, um like it says the 7 levels of competitive FPS games, but he put it at level 4. Like I don't know how you can possibly put the hardest FPS game probably in the world at level 4 and put CS at the top. First of all, what the fuck? Siege is only second to them in probably viewership. I think more people follow CS only because it's been around longer. But when you talk about levels of competitiveness in gaming, Siege is so many levels above fucking CS. It's not even funny, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Some people just really need to do more research on their videos. Cause let's take a professional Siege player, okay, and a professional CS2 player from the golden days of CS, and let's just watch this. Let's hear what they have to say about maybe Valorant or CS compared to Siege.
Wait, you think this is one of the harder FPS games out there?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely more than Valorant and CS. Way harder.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's just so much going on.
No, yeah, definitely. It was a bit of a shock when I came from CS to this game, to be honest. This CS is just like, you know, kind of simple compared to this.
Wait, you think this is one of the...
And that's what I like to say, bro. Like, because when you think about CS compared to Siege, CS has like a couple core game mechanics that you need to know. You need to know how to control recoil. You need to know how to position. You need to know like how to save money, when to eco, like that kind of thing. There's not a ton that really goes into CS besides basics of like any other FPS game, right? It's tried and true. And that's no diss. But Siege, you have so many core game mechanics. I mean, shit, you have almost like 70 operators in the game. I think maybe even over 70 operators in the game. That's the most out of any video game. Not even LOL has that many, I'm pretty sure. And all of them have unique abilities that you need to learn how to counter in some way or deal with in some way. You die in one headshot. In CS, if you have the helmet, sometimes you won't die in a headshot. So there's a chance of two tap headshot. And then like all the other things from CS apply to as well Rainbow Six. But I think a lot of the things that people miss is just the fact that the skill ceiling is so much higher in Rainbow Six because there is so much more to learn and get to know. Because also competitive Siege versus competitive CS, I think there's almost triple the maps in competitive Siege than there is in competitive CS. The map size is almost double. I mean, CS maps are fucking small. Siege maps are pretty big compared to most games. They have more depth than most games. I mean, destruction, reinforcing, like there's so much more depth to Siege than like literally any other FPS game ever. Like you could compare it to Battlefield with destruction, but then like there's so much more depth, and I don't know how anybody could possibly put Siege in the right mind and right educated, prepared mind put Siege below anything in a competitive sense. It is so disrespectful. And honestly, I don't even care about the rest of the video. I wanna see what he has to say about Siege.
Level
I'm
5
gonna be dead
Rainbow
ass.
Six Siege.
'Cause
If
I didn't
Call of
even
Duty
watch
is
it.
competitive fast food, Rainbow Six Siege is that Michelin-starred restaurant where the chef personally insults you if you can't appreciate the molecular gastronomy. This game doesn't just have a learning curve, it has a learning cliff that most players fall off before they understand that they're even climbing. But that brutal complexity
Yeah, okay. So he's got that down, but I'd put it more like a learning fucking triple mountain. 3 Mount Everest is the learning curve of so cliff for CS, 3 Mount Everests for Siege. That is what I would compare it. Cuz I could probably hit like pretty high up in CS. CS really isn't that difficult, but like Siege, okay.
is exactly why Siege works as a tier 1 esport. The 6 Invitational 2024 sold out a 10,000 seat Montreal arena filled with fans who understood that watching Bulo execute a perfect runout or G2's site execute unfold is just as thrilling as any no-scope montage. These aren't aim duels, they're tactical puzzles where one drone spot or reinforcement placement can determine the entire round.
Exactly. And where do you see that in CS? You might have clutch smoke spots, but realistically, none of that's ever really going to determine a round in CS. A smoke spot or something definitely could, but in the sense of Siege where one thing could determine the round every single round, that's not happening in CS. CS is very, very different.
The numbers back it up too. 6 Invitational consistently pulls 300,000 concurrent viewers across platforms, with a $3 million prize pool at the rival majors. The pro scene might not have CS
I do like how he has the Canadian clutch.
or Valorant's
If you
corporate
know, you know.
polish, but what it lacks in accessibility, it makes up for in pure competitive integrity. Every operator ban, every site take, every utility troll matters. Siege has something most games never achieve, a community that genuinely
And I just want to rewind and reiterate that he is completely missing 90% of what the game
Massive
actually,
casual
like, the skill is.
crossover or Valorant's corporate polish, but what it lacks in accessibility, it makes up for in pure competitive integrity. Every operator
This is just completely wrong. You should not even compare this to Valorant. First of all, Valorant came many years later than Siege. If anything, this can be compared to like LOL maybe, a hero shooter. Like in the LOL is not even a shooter, bro. But like when you compare it to something, you have to compare it to something with a lot of heroes. You can't compare it to something with a couple of ops, bro. Like Overwatch, you could compare it to Overwatch, but then it's not the same genre. Tactical versus hero, right? But at the same time, you got to realize that when you put the word tactical in front of something, it automatically makes it like I don't know. It automatically makes it more difficult than any other game in the genre, like shooter wise. Once you put tactical shooter in front of it, it should become more difficult than pretty much anything else. It's tactical, realistic. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than your arcade shoot 16 times and they don't die Call of Duty game, you know?
ban, every site take, every utility
I
troll
think
matters.
I think he's definitely touching on some of the important things, but I think he's missing out on a lot of the really anything. I think he skipped over way too much with
Siege
Siege.
has something most games never achieve, a community that genuinely respects the skill ceiling. Watch someone get the
I mean, he literally just talked
by
about me.
Pengu or Canadian, and instead of complaining about RNG, they'll study the WOD to understand the 4D chess move they just witnessed. The game demands your intellectual
Okay, and where you seen that in CS?
respect, which is why it has earned competitive legitimacy that flashier titles still chase. Plus, let's be honest, there's deep satisfaction in watching streamers confidently load into ranked, thinking Siege looks easy, only to get absolutely dismantled by game sense they didn't even know existed.
Exactly, and you're not going to see that in CS as much. I'm sure you can load into a CS match and do fairly well compared to fucking better players. I mean, obviously you're still going to get shit on, but Siege is an entirely different level. I could play with like plat players on fucking CS, right? Or something like that. But like my skill level in Siege after playing for 10 years is still like pretty low, bro. It's mostly my fault, but
Level 6, Valorant.
oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. What the actual fuck is this shit? I deadass know why I dislike this video now. I didn't even watch it before and I didn't. This is disgusting. Why would you ever put a shit game like Valorant above Siege? Okay, I'm sure some of you will stand with this. Like, I feel like I'm not talking too much shit right now. Valorant is not anywhere near above Siege. This is disgusting. This makes me want to, like, deadass puke. What the fuck?
Riot Games looked at Counter-Strike's 20-year dominance and said,
I'm skipping that shit. I don't get no fucks. What the fuck? What the fuck about that game is so hard?
a level 7.
I almost hit
Counter-Strike.
the highest level
We
off my
arrive at the
first time
final
playing that
boss.
fucking like
Counter-Strike isn't just a
first
game.
season I ever
It's
played.
a
Almost hit the highest
competitive
rank. That
religion
shit's
that's
not
been
hard.
converting believers for over 2 decades.
So I have a feeling this guy is very biased. Competitive religion. He's just
From
using bigger
1.6's
words.
CPL tournaments to Source's brief detour to Global Offensive Major Dominance to CS2's Rocky Resurrection.
So he's talking about a bunch of events that happened in this game, but he didn't say any of that for Siege. You could be talking about Operation Health. You could be talking about Operation Black Ice. You could be talking about Operation Daybreak. You could be talking about a lot of things about Siege, but he only touched on SI. He didn't touch on any of the majors. He didn't touch on like barely anything with Siege. He just kind of said, yeah, it's good. People like it. People like how competitive it is. Moved on. And you see how much more he's saying about CS already? He's literally going into a deep dive.
This franchise has survived engine changes, meta
Siege has as well.
evolutions, roster
So has Siege.
dynasties, and countless CS killers that now populate
So has Siege.
gaming graveyards. The numbers are simply untouchable. CS2 launch pulled 1.8 million concurrent players. PGL major
Wait, hold on.
solutions, roster dynasties, and countless CS killers that now populate gaming graveyards. The numbers are simply untouchable. CS2 launch
Okay, you just can't use CS2. I'm sorry, but if you're talking about CS2's launch, that's so many years in the future compared to like Siege X, okay? Listen here. There are 3 versions, I'm pretty sure, before CS2. Like full different games. You have Source, you have 1.8, and you have CS. Okay? That you can't pull the number for CS2, bro. That is just shit. That's just shit journalism, bro. I don't care who you think you are. You should be pulling the first numbers from Source. Yes, CS has become a very popular game, and the numbers do not apply to game launches. Game launches are all the people, not the competitive people. Last time I checked, this is the level of competitive FPS games, not the level of how much people play the competitive FPS games. We should be talking about comp.
pulled 1.8 million concurrent players. PGL Major Stockholm 2021 peaked at 2.7 million viewers across.
Okay, but where was the peak? Where was the peak for the Siege shit? Why is there no concurrent viewers for this one? Where was the peak for Siege? See the difference?
All platforms. And
He's framing it to makes CS look way better. He's not using the same information for everything. He's not using the same points for everything. This is why you need to not watch videos like these. If they don't use the same talking points for each and every video game, it's just
Paris Major 2023 sold out arena 9,000 seats in under 20 minutes.
okay. Wow. That's literally like Suicide Boys numbers minus 10 minutes. You could probably okay, let me stop. So they sold out how many was that? So many seats?
2.7 million viewers across all platforms. And the Paris Major 2023 sold out arena 9,000 seats
Yeah, and he said that they sold out an arena in Montreal for like 30,000 people for Siege. Okay,
in under
buddy.
20 minutes. This isn't regional success. This is global cultural dominance spanning literal decades. But statistics don't capture what makes Counter-Strike truly special. It's
Yeah, you're right, because it's not that special compared to a lot of other games.
the purest test of FPS skill that exists.
No, it is not. No, the fuck it is not. This is not the purest test for FPS skills. Siege is the purest test for FPS skills. Because not only do you have to worry about dying constantly, you have to worry about fucking swiping on people's faces. 24/7. While worrying about if that wall next to you is getting blown up. While worrying if that wall's getting breached. Where's that drone that just scanned me? Oh shit, is that a Capcan trap? Oh shit, am I getting Jackal scanned? Do you see any of that in CS? You're like, oh shit, there's a smoke grenade in front of me.
abilities to bail you out, no random environmental destruction, no hero
Okay. See, that's what makes it more difficult and more competitive.
cultural dominance
You can't say there's none of this, none of that. makes it way less difficult and way less competitive when you don't have extra aspects to make it more difficult per what you're doing.
literal decades. But statistics don't capture what makes Counter-Strike truly special. It's the purest test of
Now, I'm not disagreeing with its specialty.
FPS skill that exists. No
It is not the most.
abilities to bail you out, no random environmental disruption.
Okay, so no abilities to bail you out. So realistically, when you have something to bail you out of a deadly situation, that means it's becoming more competitive. You're being more competitive. All of a sudden, they thought they almost had you dead. Doxed him. I'm full HP, bitch. Like, that's competitive. Shooting people in the face and just running around with smoke grenades and mollies is not competitive.
No hero swaps mid-round,
That's just not a thing in Siege. You pick at the beginning of each round.
no aim assist training wheel.
Yep. Siege doesn't got that.
Just positioning, raw mechanical aim, economy management and tactical execution refined over 20 plus years of competitive.
Okay. So I'm going to give you this. Siege got all that. Okay. All right. Except for the economy. We don't got economy in Siege. I'll give you all that. Ecoing and CS is some else. Okay. So let me say this. We have everything you just said, plus 40 other things that make the game so much harder than this and more competitive. Now, if I wanted to name a few, I would add site setup, maps, and how to set up site on each map. There's 3-4 sites per map. You have to learn how to set up each site, how to attack each site, how to play each site, how to play an operator on said site. And there's 30 some operators per side, okay? Now, on top of that, team composition. You have to figure out who's doing what. You have to, like, there is so much more to Siege than this guy is putting on, okay? I just want people to know that.
Evolution. Just think about Simple's jumping double from cash, Cold
Okay. So we're not gonna talk about like Bolo's ace run out or Psycho's ace run out. Like,
Zera's Mirage quad kill, Device's timing, get right clutches. These moments
honestly, this is not that impressive to me. Like, I've watched CS. This is not that impressive, bro. Smitty can do this.
transcend gaming and become genuine sports history. The game creates legends, not just good players. Navi, Astralis, SK Gaming, Fnatic, NIP, these aren't just teams, they're dynasties with legitimate claim to the athletic greatness. Here's why
Yeah, and every other fucking competitive game has that, bro. This is literal, it's literal just CS Glaze, guys. Like, every single competitive game has teams that are the best and have the most renown. Like, let's say G2 from fucking Siege. Okay? G2. One of the most colored and fucking tested teams in Siege, bro. TSM back in the day, okay? Bolo? Like, Siege has that too. Every single fucking competitive game has that. You can't say it's better because it's CS. That's just not true. It's not better because it's CS. It's not more competitive because it's CS. It's what the composition of the game makes it competitive. Like, you can't say because of the people it's competitive. You can't say because of the community it's competitive. It's because of the core game that makes something competitive. Okay? Like, you can have competitive nature in people, but the game is not competitive. Okay? There's a big difference between competitive nature in people and the competitive nature of a video game. People are very competitive on COD, but COD is not a very competitive game. It's an arcade shooter, okay? Siege is a very competitive game, and the people are very competitive and passionate, okay? CS, the people are very competitive, but I would compare it to a Valorant or a Fortnite for, like, the game actually being competitive.
CS has survived when every competitive
And to be fair, I have probably 400 some odd days in Siege and probably a couple thousand hours in CS. So, to be fair, I kind of have the right to an opinion here. I mean, I have the right to an opinion regardless, but I have basis to what I'm saying.
has
I own probably hundreds of games on my PC, so I'm pretty passionate.
faltered. It respects its own fundamentals. Updates are incremental, not revolutionary. The core AK spray pattern hasn't changed since 1999, and that
Okay, so then that makes it way less competitive, bro. This is another good point. If something hasn't changed for years, that means it's been perfected, bro. Listen, in Siege, the constant changes to operators is what makes it more competitive. They purposely change things on operators to make the game more competitive. I mean, think about it this way. They had to nerf Jaeger so many times because he was so good, and he's still good. Or like maybe they literally took Legion's Serbu shotgun super shorty recently, so he can't make rotates anymore. Okay, so now you have to rely on a different operator to go make rotates. Most or all of the defensive operators that don't have a slug shotgun or a DMR had the ACOG removed. So now defensive operators have to rely more on one times and relying on closer gunfights. So the constant change is what makes a game more competitive. If it's the same shit, people can learn it a lot easier, bro. If it's the same shit, different ass every single fucking time, it makes it easier. Okay? Like, you're showing the
consistency is
true
a
colors
feature,
of
not
your opinion here.
a bug. Players can invest 10,000 hours into perfecting their craft without worrying that the next
Okay, but that makes it way less competitive. That makes a game less competitive. If you can invest 10,000 hours and rely on that skill forever, that's not competitive. Competitive is everlasting, ever change. It's consistently upping your skill. That is competitive. Competitive is consistent improvement upon your skill. And when you don't have consistent change to make that consistent improvement, then what the fuck is this guy even talking about?
next month's patch will make their muscle memory obsolete. Even CS2 disastrous launch, broken hit track, missing features, community revolt couldn't kill the scene. The competitive ecosystem was so robust that players just adapted and kept grinding. Major tournaments still sold out, pro salaries stayed stable, and Valve slowly fixed the issues while the scene proved its own resilience. That's the power of untouchable legacy. You can stumble without falling. Counter-Strike does
So all this guy is saying is it's just the legacy of the game. There is no real competitive basis to his entire claim. It's literally just legacy, bro. With that, I hope this guy fucking sees this video so he can maybe get some insight on why his opinion is fucking dog shit and why he needs to do a little bit more looking into things before he just sends some shit out. Also, stop being such a glazer of CS and only basing it on legacy, because you can hear it in your talking. Like, I'm a non-biased person, and I really don't care for Siege. I'm very passionate about Siege, but I don't care for it. The state of the game right now, I have no reason to advocate for that game, but I'm also non-biased, and I care about people seeing misinformation and just non-true things, and I've played Siege for a very long time, and I know how more competitive is than CS. I played a lot of CS, I played a lot of Siege, I played tons of Call of Duty, played a lot of the mainstream games. Siege is the most competitive, the most difficult, the hardest and highest skill ceiling out of any video game I've ever touched. And you should listen to this clip again from a professional Siege player right here and a professional CS player. Shroud, okay? The Shroud. And this guy came from, he did play CS before Siege.
The harder FPS games out there.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely more.
And when you say competitive, I think that has to do with difficulty as well, okay? Because when something's more difficult and harder to do, ergo, it makes it a little bit more competitive.
More than Valorant and CS. Way harder.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's just so much going on.
No, yeah, definitely. It was a bit of a shock when I came from CS to this game, to be honest. Because CS is just like, you know, kind of simple compared to this.
Boy, you
Yeah,
think
simple. When you have simplicity in a video game, it kind of takes the competitive nature out of it.
doesn't
That's
just
that.
sit
Anyways, this guy's link will not be in the description this time, unfortunately, because it wasn't a reaction video. It was a misinformation fixing video. If you want to find him, obviously it's been here the entire time. You can see his channel. You can see the name of the video. You can see that I've disliked it, left a comment, and I have not subscribed. I would not recommend doing any of that for this guy. I do not dislike him. I think his opinion is just very misinformate. It is just very misinforming, and it's just, I mean, he's entitled to it, but it's just very misinforming, and I think people are gonna take this literally rather than just CS Glaze. Peace.